Welcome back, everybody. We are the Offside Zone. I'm Richie, your host. We are back with the crew. We got Toby, Sam, and Oswald. This will be our 16th episode, and we're going to pretty much jump right into it. The first question I have for you, gentlemen, is who has the best midfield in world football currently? Oswald, would you like to start with this one?
See, I'm looking at these. There's two teams that come in my mind: Bayern Munich and Manchester City. It's a very good tie for me. I would lean towards Man City, KDB, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, Mahrez. Man, bro, that team is way too stacked. Like they could literally have a second team, and they can still win the Premier League with that second team. So I'll stick with City.
Okay. All right, Toby.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Arsenal again. like, yeah, Odegaard, one of the best midfielders in the league. Shaka's chipping in goals, going crazy. Partey, one of the best CDMs in the league at the moment. So honestly, you really can't say nothing much. They're first in the league, and those three has arguably been the best midfield in the Prem this season. When you look at their contributions, you look at what Shaka's doing, you look at what Odegaard's doing, and you look at what Partey's doing. Yeah, it is what it is. Odegaard's one of the best center attacking mids in the Prem right now. Not even in the world, he's one of the best center attacking mids at the moment. Chaka, he's shipped in with serious goals this season and just had a whole revolution in terms of his style of play. And then you look at Partey, we were just arguing 3 weeks ago if he was better than Casemiro. So if you look at those three, we're top of the league. Got to be the best midfield in the world at the moment.
All right. Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, if we're looking at world football, I'm gonna look no further than unfortunately Real Madrid. I
Ooh.
still feel like no midfield has the cohesion and the effectiveness that midfield has. As a Barca fan, I can admit that. Um, I think a close second is Man City though, because Man City have, I would say, a deeper midfield than Real Madrid, but I think Real Madrid's starting midfield is just the most effective and just the best midfield. They have the best midfielder in the world. I don't know how he's still the best midfielder in the world, but he proves every time that he is. Every time we see Modric come up against De Bruyne, we always think this is the chance for De Bruyne to outshine Modric, and Modric outshines him every time.
Are
So
you
up until this point, I would still give it to Modric and Real Madrid for having the best midfield in world football.
you're telling me Modric is currently better than Kevin De Bruyne?
Yeah, I think if you look at a Champions League matchup,
Wow.
I think Modric would outperform him.
Every single time they play against each other, Kevin De Bruyne outperforms him though.
What?
Yes, even though they lose, they may lose, but he
No.
always outperforms him.
So you're telling me that Kevin De Bruyne outperformed Modric last season?
When they played against each other,
Yeah.
for the most part, yeah.
I'm not
No,
gonna disagree with that,
Nah.
but
he did
I
not.
th- I think it's fair to say in regards to the question, it's important for us to differentiate between currently on form and if we're debating big names, which is the reason why I tossed up Arsenal in there in terms of their midfield three. Because if we're just talking about names, of course we're going to say Real Madrid. But if we're looking at form, Real Madrid hasn't been the best this season. They've been up and down for the most part. They've been good in the Champions League, of course, but outside of that, Barca are clear in the Liga. Then you see what they do in terms of domestically. They haven't been great. So if the question is currently in football right now, I have to go with the teams that have the best midfield that's in form, not the big names. We all know Modric is one of the best, if not the best midfield in the world, but him and that cohesion of midfield at Real Madrid, are they currently the the world's best midfield on form, and I have to disagree with that. So in terms of that, I agree with Oswald.
I mean, I think Real Madrid in the league, they're playing. I don't want to say that they're not trying as hard, but in the league, they rotate their squad a little bit more. So Modric gets a lot of rest in the league. When I see them play in the Champions League, which seems to be the only thing they care about nowadays, he still performs. They're still the best midfield. They dominate games. They dominate teams. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't put Arsenal in there because I think Man City is definitely deeper than Arsenal. I don't think you take any Arsenal midfielder in that team and slot them in the Man City team.
You could put Odegaard in there. He could slide in there. I say Odegaard has.
You could put Odegaard and Thomas Partey in here. We were literally just arguing if Thomas Partey was the best center defensive mid in the Prem this season. This same year. This wasn't last year. This was this year. So, and again, like I said, like you're talking about players when Oswald brings up Kevin De Bruyne, he's not just doing it domestically, he's doing it in the Champions League too, which is exactly why I'm alluding to the point currently in world football, I can't give it to Real. Obviously, if we're looking at names, you have to toss people like that up there. But currently in world football, Odegaard, in terms of being a center attacking mid, he should be able to slide in any team on his form. It is what it is.
I disagree, but that's everybody.
If we're talking in form, right?
Right.
KDB is a top Premier League assist this season, but they're second. So
yeah,
he should be number one. Honestly,
who should be number one?
KDB. He should be number one. Even though Arsenal's having a season in the Prem, but KDB is outperforming Odegaard.
I don't know. I mean,
that's arguable.
It's arguable.
I'm really talking about the whole midfield, though. I'm not just talking about one midfield.
We're talking about the whole midfield, those three, in terms of the whole midfield, they have literally projected Arsenal to number one. In terms of statistics all around, Xhaka, Thomas Partey, and Odegaard in their roles have excelled. I think have been the standout players in terms of midfielders in the Prem this season. So, I mean, obviously Kevin De Bruyne and them, they do what they do. They do. But one has projected their playing style and projected their ability to the point where the team is first place. And they're kind of outshining, or better yet, they're doing better than what we're used to them doing, which is my point. So if we're going off currently world football, I have to give it with the team that's been informed the most. And those three are playing ridiculously well in their positions. So I think they have a shout. But hey, I'm the only Arsenal fan here, so.
No wonder.
All right, so we had three teams thrown into that hat. So let's move on to the next question. Musiala or Bellingham? Who would you rather choose to build your future team around? Let Toby start with this.
I think Musiala is more talented, but if we're looking at to build a team around, I'm gonna go with Bellingham. Bellingham is a leader. Oh, he's a leader. Not only is I think he was captain for Borussia Dortmund, but he's literally a leader. They're already looking at him to be a pivotal piece in the England national team already off Bucks. And as a center mid or in that central midfield area, to be a leader and be a leader at such a young age, I feel like that is more critical in terms of building a team around when you look at it, rather than, Musiala, who's a great dribbler and stuff like that. But Bellingham is an all-around team player. He's also younger than Musiala. Like, even though it's a couple of age, he's also younger by Musiala.
I think they're both 19.
They're both 19, but Bellingham is actually younger than Musiala, which is the crazy part. So when you look at it and you see the experience that Bellingham has already exhibited as a young player and to be the guy that's telling Holland, calm down, I got the armband, I think that shows a lot. I think it shows a lot that everybody's talking about him to this degree. And obviously Musiala is talented, but Bellingham, I project him to probably be, he could be that guy for the club that if he goes to the next club that he goes to, he could be their Steven Gerrard to a certain degree because he has the leadership ability. He has all the talent in terms of ability as a midfield to do what he needs to do. And he's even getting stamped by people like Steven Gerrard on national TV. So, yeah, to build a team around, got to give it to the young captain, Bellingham.
All right, Oswald.
Toby made some good points about Bellingham being a great leader. If you watch football, the people that typically lead the games are forward players. They're the ones that are there to give you all the goals, get your team going, get your team playing. I think Musiala is the guy. He's the guy that would take Bayern to the next level, even though they're already on that level. But he's the one that's going to take them to winning Champions Leagues and whatever trophy they compete in. Just watching him in the World Cup, Musiala was Germany's best player by far. If you watch the World Cup, the only thing is he was just unfortunate. Some of the misses. The keepers were playing very well, but overall, he had an amazing World Cup individually. But even though Germany crashed out early, but he individually had an amazing World Cup. I just think that as a player that talented, you need to build around him. A player that talented, you need to, because he has so much talent. His dribbling ability is crazy. His finishing, he's okay, but he's still young, so he can improve on that. That's for sure. He needs to get a little bit bigger, but he has the speed, he has the agility, he has the just the drive to win. He has all that, and I just think that you need to get someone like Musiala to build your team around him.
Okay, Sam.
Yeah, both of you guys made great points. I think Bellingham definitely is more of a leader, and he plays in a position on the field where you would typically want to build around a player because he's in the midfield and he's going to play that controlling role in the midfield. But I would say that Musiala is far more talented than Bellingham. And I think when you have a player that's that talented, you have to build around the talent. That's what I think. I think he's a player that if you put the right pieces around him, he can be like amazing. Like I'm talking about like he has the caliber of a player that can win everything there is to win in football. And you have to build around players like that. You build around talented players, the most talented players, because when you do that, you bring the most out of them. When you help them and give them the space and the opportunity to flourish, you
Yeah.
you give them the chance to bring that talent level to the highest degree. And I think I would personally build around Musiala just because he's more talented. He's more purely talented as a footballer than Bellingham. That's what I
That
think.
Okay.
that also brings to my point. Messi. Besides Messi just being around like 30 yards and up, what else does he do? On the team, he for the most part he barely evers defense. I remember when young Messi was around, they literally all the time they got the ball. Look for Messi. Look for Messi. He barely ever did work, but I mean he did more work then. But in terms of tracking back, um, defending and all that, he did a lot more work when he was younger. But as they knew he had the talent. The moment that Barcelona had the ball, they just looked straight for Messi. That's the same thing that's happening with Bayern too. Whenever Bayern has the ball, Musiala is the guy.
Well, I mean, for me, I wouldn't compare him to Messi because I think Messi has been in different teams. That's number one. I think Messi has been a piece and he's been the main guy in different Barca teams. At some point, Ronaldinho was the guy. At some point, Samuel Eto'o was the guy. At some point, to a certain degree, Thierry Henry was the guy when he was younger. And then obviously Messi came into play and then they just fed him the ball. But here's my point in regards to that. So I have a question. Would you consider Musiala more so a piece to the puzzle rather than the anchor of the puzzle? Because to me, when you look at Bellingham, the same a notion in regards to if you put the right pieces around Bellingham, he can truly excel more. I've actually seen evidence of that in regards to the England national team. He was probably outright one of the best players for the England team at the World Cup to the same degree because they put the right pieces around him. He started showing that he can be an attacking force. He started progressing the ball more. He started also showing that he can do defensive work. So in terms of being an anchor, I think Bellingham has all of those pieces. Now, I get where you're coming from with the Messi comparison, but here's another thing about Musiala that I can't even compare him to Messi. Messi is outright in terms of attacking. He's a playmaker too, which is why they give him the ball. Musiala, to me, he's a very great dribbler. Like when you give him the ball, it's like I don't want to say Mbappe because Mbappe also finishes as well. But when you give him the ball, it's like you expect him to dribble past a couple players and make an opening for somebody else. But in regards to Bellingham, he's an anchor. When you put pieces around him like a Musiala, Bellingham be shining, which is my point. Do you consider Musiala more so a piece compared to Bellingham, who I really think is an anchor?
See, the thing I would say to that is I think Bellingham is the player that's gonna make other players better.
Yeah.
But Musiala is the player that you need to make better. So his talent shows on the field. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Bellingham is the player is gonna need to be like a type of player like Bellingham is the player that's gonna need to be around a Musiala to
Yeah.
get the best out of him. And then Musiala is gonna go crazy. If he has a midfield around him that's giving him the ball in the perfect spaces that he likes it in the perfect positions, then we're going to see his talent level increase. We're going to see him start scoring more goals because he's going to get more opportunities. So I think Bellingham is an anchor, but I think Musiala can also be an anchor as well.
Yeah. Sam explained it perfectly. Honestly, yeah.
I guess. I mean, who do you think is rather more uh it's more rare to get? Like, do you think Bellingham is more rare in a team? Because to me, a Steven Gerrard is very rare. Like a Pirlo is very rare. You feel me? So do you think that is a more rare of a player to have to build around compared to Musiala? You could get a couple Musialas. It might not be as good, or you understand, but you could get a couple Musialas. There's a bunch of great
I don't
dribblers in
know.
the world.
It's
It's
tough.
true.
Tough.
It's
I
true.
see what you're saying. They're both players that
Coman is there.
come
Mane
around a
is
lot.
there. Sane is there. They're all great dribblers.
But
That's what I'm
no,
telling you.
Musiala
Musiala's
is their
dribbling
best dribbling
ability is like
that team.
I can name like 20
I've
dribblers.
seen
That's all I'm saying. How
I
many how many anchor like players like Jude Bellingham can you really name out there that you can like Sam just said,
Henderson.
you can get pieces around him and you'll get the best off of Bellingham.
you can put a player like Enzo over there and say Enzo is
Oh,
gonna be like a good
And guess how much he went for? That's
I don't
rare.
think he's worth that, but that's a whole different conversation. But I
Bellingham
think
is gonna go.
they're both players that we've never like not never, but they're both rare type of players in that they have the ability to do things on the field that not the typical professional doesn't have. But I just think Musiala's dribbling ability is just like if he if he gets in a situation where he can really like just get the ball in like specific spaces where he doesn't have to do too much of the dribbling and he just has to worry about that attacking final third, he's gonna start banging in goals. And
I get that. I get that.
when he starts doing that,
So he basically needs a Benzema to his Vinicius, basically.
Yeah, something like that.
See,
Even like a Modric or something like that.
But Bellingham could be the Modric.
Yeah. The different kinds of players. Yeah, Bellingham would be like the Modric type player.
Wait, who do you guys think has the higher ceiling of better chance of winning the Ballon d'Or between those two?
I would say Musiala because of his style of play and obvious talent. Like people like dribbling and scoring. It's gonna favor their attacker.
It's gonna favor.
But I mean, hey, Modric did win. He did win a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, the Ballon d'Or is kind of biased towards attackers at the end of the day, the people that score the goals. So
it's the hardest thing in the game.
I'm not arguing about it. I'm just saying that's what it is. So like, it's gonna naturally lean more towards an attacking player than like a midfielder or like even a defender. Like the last time we saw a defender win the Ballon d'Or was 2006. And there have been great defenders at that time, but
was it Cannavaro?
Cannavaro,
it's all good.
I'm gonna
throw a bonus question. Musiala's probably going to stay at Bayern for a while, but Bellingham is probably not going to be at Dortmund for that long. So, where do you guys see him? Where do you see his future at?
I personally see him at either Real Madrid or Liverpool, but I think Liverpool would be a better move though, because I think a lot of times with Real Madrid, like it can be hit and miss with like great players because they expect so much out of you so quickly. Like, and sometimes players need time to adapt, but Real Madrid doesn't always give that time to players to adapt to their team.
That's
well, the fans at least.
Speaking of time to adapt, y'all remember when Modric just moved to Madrid? They voted him worst player in La Liga.
Another perfect example. Another player that get booed by Real Madrid.
I actually think Jude would be dumb to go to Real Madrid. Not because I don't think he has the capability, but number one, Tchouaméni's there, Camavinga's there, Valverde's there. Like Modric and Kroos are still there. Like you get me. If we're talking about next year, yes, but like they're still there. So the competition is even more fierce compared to like a Liverpool. Liverpool it's a done deal. Henderson is a done deal. You get me? James Milner's a done deal. Like there's nothing there but like caskets. You feel me? So if I was him, actually, I would even look towards Real Madrid. I would use them in a way to get more, betterment for my personal situation. But I would also be looking towards Manchester United.
Yeah.
I'll be looking towards Man U because not only can he go there and then be that guy, but he can also be that guy next to one of the generational center defensive mids that we've ever seen, which is Casemiro. Like he can learn from him. He could get so much out of just learning and being under his wing. And then on top of that, you get to play next to him and then other center mids and center attacking mids that you could truly learn from. And it's in England. It's your native country. So you're going to get way more marketability in terms of that. You wouldn't have to adjust anything. Your family lives there. All the men them live there. You could go and get some chips and dips or whatever after, chips and fish, whatever after, like, that's what I'm saying. Everything is set up for him in terms of like coming back to London. And I think even with that, he would get a lot more grace compared to if he went to Spain and he was a bust.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly.
That's true. They'll give him a little bit of time because they'll say, oh, he came from Germany.
Yeah, they're gonna cook him if he's not tough. That's a crazy.
If he don't come in and start cooking immediately at Real Madrid, they're gonna start booing and.
Yeah.
I mean, see,
it'll be.
You add to the fact that he's not Spanish.
That Madrid midfield is so old. Like Kroos and Modric are out of there though. Like the next 2 years, they're gone.
But and he's still there.
He's 19.
They still there, bro.
They still going though. That's the thing.
Tchouaméni's not even sniffing the pitch right now, bro. Camavinga be putting in like he's a little bit on and off, but like he has a great performances all the time. But like they don't even care.
They play him at left back sometimes.
Yeah, like That's not what Jude Bellingham wants to go there and then end up playing right wing back. It's not it, bro. At all. Like,
True.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, the decision he makes and who, who all goes for him and willing to pay. Somebody's gonna have to pay to get him.
Even City, he can go there.
yeah, I actually think he's smart, and I feel like his family and agents are smart enough to just use Real Madrid as a ploy. Because like 120 million for the brother is too much in my books. But at the end of the day, it is too much, bruh. I'm sorry.
Not in this market.
Even in this market, I think it's too much. Jack Grealish going for 100 mil is too much too. They're all too much. I'm simply saying, if they're smart, which they are, they're going to use Real Madrid as a ploy so that they could get a better deal for their kid. Because at the end of the day, yeah, he might go in there and be the next Jadon Sancho, but he's still going to get paid. Jadon Sancho, like the 4th, 5th highest paid player, I think in the league. That's crazy.
He's definitely top 5.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Sold us a dream at Dortmund.
Jakes. Oh god. We can't hear you.
You're mute.
Okay. So, most clutch goal in football history you've ever seen. Anybody can take this one first. That was tough.
I'm gonna start off. To me, it's between the Aguero winning goal against QPR for the EPL title or the Iniesta goal to win the World Cup in 2010. That's a tough one. I'm probably gonna lean more towards Iniesta just because I think it was a bigger moment, probably. First time for Spain as a country to win the World Cup. It was in extra time, and it was 2 great teams playing against each other. So I think it was a bigger moment for sure for Iniesta to score that goal. But Aguero is a close second. His goal against QPR to win the league is a close second, I would say.
Yeah, that was a fake goal, man. I ain't a conspiracy theorist, but that was rigged.
Which one?
The Man City Aguero goal. They had that brother Cisse celebrating with them.
Because remember, they stayed up. That's why.
I'm hip, but come on, dog. Like they actually watched them score that.
Listen, the whole point of him celebrating is because they were relying on other teams to lose just like them.
I get it, bro. I get it. I'm just saying, if you watch the video, that man Cisse was celebrating before he scored. Like before Aguero even hit that, before they start, Aguero, Cisse was already doing this.
Because his team stayed up.
That's insane. But hey, I ain't spreading conspiracies out here. I'm just saying. But I think for me the most clutch moment, it probably has to be that Iniesta goal in the World Cup as well. Watching that and him just putting the heartbreak on Haaland like that. Yeah, it was pretty sad for Haaland, man. Because obviously they're a type of team that every time they go to the World Cup, like they kind of always, when they do go far, they kind of always come in second or just short. So like, and that Netherlands team was stacked. So like when that happened, and that I believe, that was the only goal in the game. So it's like when that happened, like I was expecting to go to extra time and all that, and penalties and all that. As soon as that man Iniesta hit that joint off his chest, bounced down, scoops. Yeah, that was a wild moment. Not gonna lie.
See, I have 3. Both those goals that you guys named, the Aguero and the Iniesta goal.
I say Drogba. You might say Drogba.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but hey, that's 1 too. The one I'm thinking of is that one goal against the game Watford versus Leicester City Championship final. I remember that.
Yeah.
Bro, that had to be one of the craziest games you could. If you were in that stadium, you probably would have just like felt all that delirium and joy is just being there, not even as a fan. Bro, like the game was what? I think it was like 1-1 or 2-2 or something like that. Extra time. Added over extra time. They got a penalty. Leicester City had a penalty.
Yeah, not
Man took the shot, missed it. They had a counterattack. Boom. Straight down to the other side. And it was like a few seconds left. Troy Deeney get the ball. Somebody shoots the ball. Keeper saves it. And then Troy Deeney clutches it. And that was them getting coming up to that, getting promoted to the first division. That had to be like one of the craziest games to watch. But I think the Aguero moment, bro, just what was at stake. Like you've never ever seen a Premier League game or just any league games in your entire life where both teams are relying on goals. They finished off on goal differences. That was insane. That was insane.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama in that game too. Cause if I remember correctly, I remember that man Joey Barton. He got a red card, right?
Yeah, old Joey Barton. That brother got red cards for fun.
Yeah.
That game was fake, bro. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. It was a nice little promotion for the Prem. That's all I'm saying, bro. Because there's no way, bro. There's just no way.
That just shows how clutch it was, bro.
It was a clutch goal. It was a clutch goal. I'm not knocking it. All I'm saying is the way that it went down was too FIFA. It was too FIFA 2023, like where at the end they put in the algorithm, oh, this team must score, and then everybody fall down to their feet like they just lost the World Cup or something. That's how crazy and mathematical that goal was. It was like calculated. It was weird.
That's how it happens in football, bro.
Right.
Happens, man.
It's a beautiful game, bro.
Biggest moment in Man City's history. Very short history, yes.
All right, that's 8.
They have more Premier Leagues than Arsenal.
I don't know about that. More Prems than Arsenal? I don't know about that.
They do. They got leagues, but they got more Premier League
titles.
Yeah, no, you have more league titles.
Oh, okay. That's all. That's all that matters.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying.
What?
We call it Premier League, right?
Because of the name change, all the titles before doesn't matter.
I didn't say any of that. I just said the Premier League. That's all I said.
I didn't want to start history 20 years ago. It's crazy, bro.
It's okay.
Since we're on the topic of the Premier League, who's the best Prem player of all time?
It's easy.
That's a pretty easy one.
Hey, let's add some spice in here. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Thierry Henry. Yeah, I think he's at his prime. He was playing in the Premier League, and he was basically unplayable, like in his heyday with Arsenal. And yeah, he broke a lot of records, won a lot of titles. Thierry Henry.
I don't know why Toby's faking like he's not about to say Thierry Henry.
He's gonna try to be different.
Nah, I mean it's Thierry Henry, but like it is arguable. It's not like clear as day. It's not clear as day. It's arguable.
And Mr. Shuey.
Yeah, I'm going to say Mr. Shuey.
Best player in the Premier League that's ever played in the Premier League.
Between Henry, Ronaldo, and Wayne Rooney. And what's that brother's name? Well, forget it. Those three guys, I think it is arguable. It depends on what type of argument you want to have. Yeah. Like obviously Henry, like what he did for that Arsenal squad, what he did for Arsenal Football Club in the first place is, it's ridiculous. Like he's the all-time top scorer, invincible team, took them to the Champions League final, yada yada yada. The list goes on and on. Yep. But also when you look at the body of work in terms of what Ronaldo did, his impact, winning the Ballon d'Or and Man U, the goals that he scored on their run to win the Champions League, just being outright the best player on arguably one of the best dynasties in terms of Prem teams ever. Yeah, I mean, and then Wayne Rooney is he's Mr. England. Like before Harry Kane did what he did, what we were looking at was Wayne Rooney. I mean, apart from your David Beckham and stuff like that, but the main guy was Wayne Rooney. What he did at Man U, what he did for the Prem in general, all the way from, and he's a Prem player bred and born, like from Everton all the way to Man U. Like he's just been that guy, 18-year-old prodigy all the way to the end of his career. So like
16.
even 16-year-old prodigy all the way to the end of his career. He's been a dog. Like he's actually one of the biggest reasons Man U and Man City have that big right. He's one of the real poster boys for that rivalry because of that ridiculous bicycle kick. So when you think about what Rooney did for the Prem culture, yeah, I would say it depends on what argument. But me personally, I'll go to pick my man's Henri.
I mean, I really don't have much to say. I mean, we all said the same. We're all going to say the same thing. Thierry Henry, um, easily the GOAT in the Premier League. For at least 6 years, he was the best player running the league at least 6 years. So
Yeah, and I think that's really what the difference between Henry and Ronaldo's argument is.
yeah,
Ronaldo wasn't the best for that long in the Premier League before
Rooney
he.
wasn't the best for that long either.
Nah,
not that long.
not that long.
Maybe
Not
2
that long.
seasons.
2 seasons?
Yeah, yeah.
Because Rooney
No,
wasn't the best for
before he
that long.
came back for about 2
Henry
seasons.
had the longest period of time where he was just the best player and he was just dominating in basically most statistical categories.
Yeah. 2000 to 2004 for sure. That's stamped.
Yeah.
That is super stamped.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our final question. There's been pretty much some news recently of Messi. I don't think he's choosing to renew his contract at PSG due to the fact that I don't think he's willing to take a pay cut. So pretty much here enters Barcelona. So does it make sense for Messi to return to Barcelona, or should they move on from him? Let Sam start with this.
Barca boy.
I would say it's a yes and no because I think Barcelona is in a good position right now, football wise, where they have a squad that can actually be functional and actually effective without depending on Messi. And if they decide that they don't want to get Messi back, we'll still be good for the future in the next few seasons because we've built a team that's centered around a lot of young players that are very talented. I think we're going to have one of the best back lines for the next 5, 6 years in La Liga. We have Balde, Kunde, and Araujo, who are all under 25, and we've conceded the least goals in La Liga this season. So that's a back line that we can build from for the next 5, 6 years. And we also have two midfielders like Gavi and Pedri, who are still under 21, and they're both arguably going to be top midfielders in world football for the next foreseeable future. So I think we've built a team that can compete on all levels. So we don't need to get Messi back, but at the same time, I think bringing Messi back to this squad now would make us that much better because we've seen what Messi can do when you have a team that can be functional without him and then you slot him in the system. Because before when Messi was at Barcelona, it was basically give the ball to Messi and let Messi try to dribble past five players and score a goal or make some mazy pass or whatever like that. But now, since we can be functional without him, you can actually plug him into the system where the team would actually still be good, where Messi didn't necessarily have to have a great game every single game. You look at the past, Barcelona's greatest games happened only when Messi was having his best day. When Messi was having a down day, Barca would get destroyed. So I think, like you saw with Argentina at the World Cup, when you have a team around Messi that's not completely dependent on him, with players that can function in a system, and you add Messi to that system, he can pick his moments. Even at the age of 35, he can still pick his moments. He can still pick his spots to be effective, make decisive plays, score goals, and make assists. So I think either way we go about it, it's we're in a good position. I personally would get Messi back. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, Oswald.
Does it make sense for Messi to turn to Barcelona? I don't think so. I mean, he's already achieved everything that he's in football. What more does he need to do? Like, he's won the World Cup. That was literally the cherry on top. So if I'm him, I'm gonna pack my bags, go to Saudi Arabia, collect that 400 mil per year, and I'm gonna
Yeah, 430 million a year.
Yeah.
That's kind of I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, he probably doesn't need the money, but it's like that's kind of I don't know.
No one needs that kind of money. That's just
I'm packing my bags. I'm registering the kids in a new school. I'm opening up a business for my wife in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
Shoot, I'm doing the whole damn thing. I don't even care. I'm in that joint. Hey guys, what's up with y'all? I don't even care, because that type of money, bro. If you 3 digits and then the zeros after. Honestly, I don't even think Messi has seen that much money in terms of 1 year, one calendar year in his life. That's crazy, bro.
So that's like a lot, my bad. But I was gonna say that's pretty much like that's the rival team to the Al Nassr, the one Ronaldo's on.
It might be. Whatever team Messi is gonna be on will automatically
be
rival team.
It don't matter, bro. Yeah.
It don't even matter, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're trying to basically, because I mean, Saudi Arabia, what they be doing, that's why they have boxing matches over there as well. Like, they do this thing where like sports is a big tourist attraction for them over there. So having people like a Messi and like Ronaldo there battling their last 3 years of before they turn 40 out, that might be what they need over there.
Listen,
that's
there's nothing more to prove. 1 Champions League, all the La Ligas, all the Copa del Rey's, Liga, whatever. All the trophies he could potentially partake in. He's won everything. There's nothing to prove. Go to Saudi Arabia, make your money.
Nothing left to do but get that bag, bro.
Yeah.
Get that bag.
Bigger bag.
I actually think, from my perspective, see, the thing about on and off relationships and, breaking up and coming back together is that when it's all said and done, it's even harder to leave. And I think that's the situation with Messi if he came back to Barcelona. Because number one, I think Barca are in a great position, whereas they've truly been able to say they can move on from Messi. Yeah. And I feel like reintroducing him into the squad, I know it's wishful thinking to believe that when he comes back, he can plug into the system automatically. Obviously, Barca is his home. That's where he grew up, and he is the Barca system. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be a culture shock at the age Messi's in. And you don't know the adverse effects that can have on the rest of the squad. When you look at Ronaldo and his situation when he went back to Man U, Ronaldo was the poster boy for Man U. He basically made his career at Man U. You would think in that team, being a striker that's prolific in scoring, he would just plug into the system and everybody else would work for him. But as you can see, as soon as Ronaldo hit the road and went and got his lottery, you see Man U playing more as a team. And I think not because Messi isn't or doesn't have the ability to continue to play at his best form. I just feel that's the adverse effect a player of that magnitude would have on players that are already there. They would be like, yeah, I have to pass it to Messi. Yeah, I would have to do this so that I could do this for Messi or look like this in the eyes of Messi, or yada, yada. The list goes on and on. So when you look at the fact that it's a situation where they're already getting better and they're finally able to say bye-bye to the ex who is Messi, and then they want to reintroduce it, I don't think that's going to be tough. I really don't. I think it'll be good for La Liga more so. I think it'll be good for La Liga because obviously people will tune in to watch Messi, and like obviously it will bring marketing to Barcelona and nice last dance. But imagine the same situation that happened to Ronaldo happening to Messi when Messi is the guy that they're saying, bro, why are you not running? Why is the whole team not running as much as they were before? Why are we just now passing it back to Messi and expecting him to do what he was doing before? And I'm saying that is a very viable possibility of happening if he was to come back to that Barca team. Let Pedri shine, man. Let Gavi shine. Let them young boys shine, man.
Yeah, I mean the main benefactor of Messi returning is for sure La Liga.
Yeah, La Liga and Messi. If I'm being honest with you, Messi with a chip on his shoulder, he could go do his last dance. That would be nice for the documentary.
I mean, yeah, that's it. It just doesn't make sense for him to go back to Barcelona with what Barcelona is doing and what they're building now. Like they have to move on from him, which they've done, and it took a minute for them to even do that. So,
and the wage bill would be clipped. I didn't even mention that. Financially, the wage bill would be clipped. I don't care. I don't care if you want. I don't.
The right moves to make.
I don't care if you want to come and say you're moving pieces here and there. At the end of the day, y'all gonna have to pay Messi his worth because it's not him. If it was up to Messi, he'll go over there and be like, "Hey, I'll play for Barca for free, probably." But he has people that he needs to feed.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're talking about structuring his deal based around other things outside of the wages.
Of course they are. I bet they are.
I bet you all the other La Liga teams are going to be paying for Messi.
They're going to do whatever they need to do in order to sell it. Like that's part of their job. They are like Laporte is the president. He's the president. Like they're going to do whatever they need to do to sell it to the fans that we could bring back Messi because it's a big benefactor for Barcelona and La Liga. It's a huge marketing point. So like they can say all that as they want, but they gonna still pay that brother what he wants, and that means Barca are taking the L financially. So
no, not necessarily.
Okay.
Either way, Barcelona is gonna have to pay it, bro.
Pay money that they can be using significantly using to better their squad.
Yeah,
for
but
the future.
At the same time, the revenue that Messi's gonna bring in.
Oh, here we go.
Contract. No, that's a fact. If you look at the report that came out, Messi was getting actually underpaid based on the revenue he was bringing to the club. Even though he was getting that much money, the actual revenue he was bringing into the club, he was getting paid half of that. So like all the shirt sales, the sponsor. You know how many sponsors that Barca lost once Messi left? The sponsorship deals that's gonna roll in, the everything that we can offer him money outside of just the wage bill. That's the point, and they can structure a deal based around. There are other ways you can structure a deal.
All that just for the brother to have one more good year. That to me, it's just Barca crying out and saying, "I can't let go of Messi."
I think it's really based around the way he left, though. I think they probably want to give him a fairy tale ending. Like he didn't even get a proper send off from the Barcelona fans because he left during COVID and all that. They probably want to just give him a legit send off for the greatest player that ever played in that club.
That's true.
That's true.
That is true.
All them young boys taking the L. All the potential people that could be coming to Barca next year taking that L, just so that Messi could get his last dance. I feel it though. I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
I'm here for the last dance, bro.
We all are, bro.
I think a year max.
A year max.
I give him
a year max.
Yeah.
And then Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. That's it.
Yeah, bro.
Saudi Arabia or MLS?
MLS can't afford Messi, bro.
Bro, I'm going to move to Saudi Arabia, bro. If they give you million a year.
Bro,
It would also depend on Ronaldo too, which is crazy. Why? It's crazy how those two literally project each other to make more money. Because if the situation occurs where Ronaldo is great off of Saudi Arabia next year, that deal could possibly, it's not gonna go like significantly down, but it might not be the same deal. It might not even be as appealing for Messi if the situation changes. So I think for him, he should do Barca for 1 year, get his fairy tale in. They're still in the Champions League, like just ball out, do what he does. Go to Saudi Arabia, do versus Ronaldo for 1 year, make your big money, man, and then retire in Argentina. Whatever you do, even go back to River Plate if you like. Sponsor the club.
I mean,
Jesus Christ, 430 million.
if they were to go to MLS, I don't see them. I don't know who's going to be able to pay them.
That's
the whole league said every club would pay Messi's wages. That's actually what they said.
Inter Miami has actually been negotiating with him.
Yeah, negotiating for the past 5 years.
they not touching Saudi Arabia's money.
Nah, they're not touching Saudi Arabia, but they can definitely pay him though.
Yeah,
like Sporting Kansas City could have paid Ronaldo. Saudi Arabia was just way more.
Yeah,
there are people that can pay him in that MLS for sure. People got money.
Yeah. America?
I don't know about that 200 million a season.
It's different than Saudi Arabia money, though.
Yeah, it's different. So that's that money. So
yeah, it's talking about 430 million a season. That's 9 months of ball. What?
Man, I swear, bro. Just give me a cool 5 mil. Hey. I will turn it into 100 mil. Little kizzy.
That's insane.
But I think that's going to do it for us. Any last minute remarks or comments from you guys?
No, man. I wish Messi the best, and we all know what's gonna happen next year when he come to Barcelona.
Here comes the hater.
I bet you Toby was crying when Messi won the World Cup.
What? Bro, I'll say it on air right now, bro. I love Messi, man. I have all but love for Messi, bro. All love for Messi. I love when Messi wins because guess what? I'm a football fan. I love when football people play good football, and that's Messi.
Your actions say otherwise, but okay.
Okay.
That's going to do it for us, though. I want to give many thanks to all our viewers and the crew for their input. Like always, please drop us a follow on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter under the name The Offside Zone. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be discussing new topics weekly pertaining to the world of football. In the comments, let us know who you think the greatest Premier League player of all time is. As always, everyone, please stay safe, stay blessed, and see you guys in the next video.